Today we're turning Van Gogh's Starry Night into a capsule wardrobe. Let me show you how. Colorful capsule wardrobes are super easy to build if you take inspiration from art. And because you loved part 1, I decided to show you with a different color season. As always, credit goes to Darian Dronescu for creating this series initially, and let's dive straight into how I build this capsule. So whenever I get a painting, the first thing that I do is to actually extract the colors and then determine who those might be the most suitable for. And in the case of Van Gogh's painting, there are actually so many different shades and colors, but these are roughly the 12 shades that I pulled out of it. So the first thing you can see is actually a lot of blues and navies, from lighter ones to darker shades as well. Then we have a color that is pretty much black. And we also had a color that is not very prominent, but is this green. And so it's kind of in this part of the painting. So I decided to add it to the palette just in case. The color that actually looked like white turned out to be gray. And so I'm going to allow myself to use white and gray kind of interchangeably. We also had a few different shades of yellow and this sort of teal green. And also in here, we found brown. So when I started looking at these colors, the first thought I had was, this is a winter palette. Even though there's some yellows, the most prominent ones are definitely the blues and the dark colors. And so I started looking into which winter this might be the best for. And I think that the colors as they are the most suitable for dark winter. However, if you just decide to make each of the colors a little bit brighter, so slightly less gray in each of the colors, this can easily work for a bright winter as well. And because they're cool, they're also going to work for cool winter too. So you can see simply that in the bright winter color palette, this one, they're just a little bit clearer, brighter as colors. I decided to use my capsule wardrobe methods with the 5 Fs that are going to guide you into narrowing down what you actually need for the capsule. So the first step in here is determining the fabrics, and that is going to be guided by the weather. So to help me with that, I decided to create a fake person called Anna. Anna lives in the Netherlands and it's a dark winter. And so she wanted to create this capsule that is going to last her for about 3 months. And in terms of the weather, it's from -3 to 10 degrees. It can sometimes be wet, but it's not all the time. And Anna works in an office where it's actually quite warm, about 22 degrees. And so she definitely needs to have clothes that are suitable for that. And so in terms of fabrics, I decided that we're going to go mostly with natural fibers, so cotton, wool, cashmere, all of that, no acrylic or polyester tops. And suede for shoes was going to be okay if we have a pair, but in general, we're going to be looking mostly for leather shoes. The next step in here is to actually decide on the favorite, on the style. And so I decided in here that Anna's words are going to be relaxed, creative, and feminine. And those sort of embody her personality. And so if you're someone that maybe is more into the style roots, I would say she has stone, sun, and a little bit of fire into her. So all of the outfits that I'm going to create are going to have this relaxed, creative, feminine vibe. So the pieces I'm going to look for are generally loose-fitting pieces. And all of them need to have something interesting, whether that is a shape or a detail or something else. And overall, she wants to feel creative and cool, but with a little bit of that feminine touch. So we're not going to go very masculine. The next step in creating a capsule is probably the most important one, and that is the lifestyle analysis. And basically determining how many outfits you're going to need for different occasions. So in the case for Anna, I decided that she's going to be a PhD student. So she works in an office 3 days a week, teaching and doing her research. So she's in that office. 2 days a week, on average, she can work from home. So she's probably going to be a lot more relaxed and casual. She goes to a restaurant with her fancy boyfriend. So she needs outfits for that. And maybe goes on a city walk once or twice a week. So she needs more casual but cool outfits for that. And because the Netherlands, maybe their space is limited, she needs to have as few clothes as possible. So in here, our focus is going to be on versatile pieces that can go from more casual to more formal events. And we're going to build one capsule with kind of mini capsules within that. So after we have completed the lifestyle analysis, we have to ask ourselves, okay, how bored does Anna get? And the thing is, when you have less space in general, you can't allow yourself to have a massive capsule. And so most people would be not very easily bored. And so Anna said that maybe she could wear her outfits to work 3 times. She can rewear dinner outfits 2 times and maybe rewear the city walk items 3 times as well. And so if we start doing some maths, for 13 weeks, which is about 3 months, let's say we need 3 outfits for work every week. So that's 39 outfits, but she's okay repeating that 3 times. So we actually need only 13 teaching outfits. In terms of work from home, again, 13 weeks times 2 times per week, we need 26 outfits, but she's happy to repeat those 3 times as well. So we need about 9 work from home outfits and so on. And so again, those numbers are not exact, but we need to make sure that we have at least that amount of outfits that are going to allow Anna to have enough different interchangeable outfits. And so doing that, I decided that I'm going to aim to have at least 5 bottoms, at least 9 tops, 2 or more jackets, 4 or more pairs of shoes, and at least 3 bags. Now, I'm going to try and get as close to those numbers as possible, but obviously I'm not just going to restrict myself if I can't find enough. And the final F in here is actually the fit in terms of color, and that is how much color Anna is going to have in her wardrobe, neutrals versus colorful items. And so for her, I decided that she's going to have level 3 on the saturation scale, and that equates to pop of color outfit. So mostly neutrals with something brighter or colorful in the outfit. So in here, I've decided that navy, even though it's technically blue, it's going to count as a neutral because it is a very prominent color in the painting and in her capsule. And also I decided that she might do a mix of neutrals for some of the outfits, or on rare occasions, she might want to do 2 colors as well in her outfit. But overall, her composition is going to be 75% neutral, 25% colorful. And so what this usually means is that we're going to look for more neutral bottoms, generally a mix of neutral and more colorful tops, generally neutral outerwear and shoes, and maybe some colorful bags. That's usually the easiest way to create pop of color outfits. Just to sum it up, this is kind of the requirements that we got from Anna. And so in terms of shops, I decided to use Essential Antwerp as my primary store for all of the clothes. And because I don't really do shoes, I decided to go to Dune, which have a massive variety of quite simple shoes. And so all the shoes that I got are from there. Now, to make this capsule more versatile, I'm actually going to use the 8 tools that I talk about in my capsule wardrobe video and my capsule wardrobe guide. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about and you want to know more, I have this guide that I've made that details every single step and every single tool in a lot more detail. So definitely check it out. So in here, we've already talked about the color that is going to be level 3 pop of color. In terms of patterns, Anna actually likes patterns. And so we're going to go for large patterns that can actually be mixed with neutrals. In terms of layering, she doesn't mind layering, so we can definitely use that as an approach. In terms of texture, Anna enjoys being creative, and so we can use more textured and more shiny items. In terms of length, Anna doesn't like any short bottoms, so everything needs to be below the knee or long. Well, in terms of tops, she doesn't mind a shorter jumper or a shorter jacket. In terms of silhouettes, which is another tool, Anna likes to be relaxed, so we're either going to go for loose, so loose top, loose bottom, or she can go for a fit and flare, so one bit is loose and one bit is more fitted. In terms of details, we're going to look for interesting details in every single item, and whether that is the color or any sort of zips, any sort of embroidery, embellishments, anything like that is going to add a little bit more visual interest. And finally, in terms of accessories, we want them to be versatile, but a little bit more interesting. So I went through the entire Essential Antwerp website, looking at their tops and bottoms, everything. And there were so many different pieces that it was almost hard to choose. But this is the capsule wardrobe that I came up with. It has 13 tops, 2 layering pieces, 8 bottoms, 5 pairs of shoes, 2 pieces of outerwear, 3 bags, 1 scarf, and 2 jewelry pieces. So let's dive straight into each category. The first category is actually blouses and shirts. And because Anna works in an office where it's quite warm, I decided that cotton or silk are actually quite okay fabrics that she can use. And so you can see all 5 of these blouses actually have some interesting details, whether that is the pattern, the texture, the color, or even the lace fabrics. Some of those shirts can definitely be dressed down for work, and some of them can definitely be elevated to suit more fancy occasions like restaurant dinners. The next category is knitwear, and so I wanted to have a mixture in terms of thickness. So the first ones are actually the thinner pieces that can both be layered, but also just be worn on their own in an office. And again, you can see they're interesting either through some pattern detail or their fit. I also wanted to add 2 jumpers that Anna can wear if it gets quite cold. She can put them on top of the shirt while she's outside and then take them off in office, and so they can act also as a layering piece. And so the blue jumper that I chose actually has a detachable collar, so it can be both a crew neck but also a high neck. And the other one is quite a thick but loose-fitting sequin jumper. Finally, I wanted to give Anna some still creative pieces that she can wear when she works from home. And so I picked those 2 different sweatshirts that both have some embellishment, and also this mouse print cotton top that again she can wear at home. So these were all the tops, but I also decided to add 2 different layering pieces. And so this first one was very interesting because it's a wool vest, so it's definitely going to keep her warm, but it's not bulky because it doesn't have sleeves, and so it's perfect to layer under jackets and coats. And so this one can be worn over any of the shirts or blouses just for that extra warmth. The second one is actually a blazer, and blazers don't necessarily fit into relaxed or feminine, but this one is actually quite loose fitting and is cropped. And so I thought it's a little bit more interesting because it's also made of corduroy. And so I thought this might actually suit Anna if she wanted to wear something like that. The next category was bottoms, and there were 8 different bottoms that I decided to include. So the first category is actually trousers. And again, you can see that the shape in here is very, very similar. We have either straight loose leg or wider leg, because Anna likes longer bottoms. Nothing is actually cropped in here. But all of the bottoms are actually different in some way, shape, or form. So we have the corduroy pants, the shiny faux leather trousers, we have the mouse print ones, which are knitted, we have the wider fitting cargo jeans, and then we also have those cream colored jeans as well, which look like tracksuits, but actually they're made of cotton, so they're quite sturdy, but they're still relaxed and comfortable to sit in. I also decided to add 3 different skirts. So we have this maxi satin skirt, and then we have 2 quite similar in length and shape. The blue skirt is a little bit less formal. It's made out of cotton. It has elasticated waist. And then the other one has the floral embroidery. And again, it can be worn in a variety of different ways. The next thing was deciding on outerwear. And because outerwear does take a lot of space in someone's wardrobe, I wanted to keep that to the minimum. And so I only decided on 2 different pieces. The first one is this textured cropped white jacket, and I thought this is perfect because a lot of the bottoms are wider. You can kind of define the waist by having something a little bit cropped, and this can also be worn, as you can see, with a lot of the skirts as well. And then I also wanted to include something that is quite classic, quite neutral, because a lot of the other items were interesting, and I didn't want her coat to be the star of the show. And so I chose this navy wool coat. It can be worn unbuttoned, buttoned, or even tied. And so it can, again, be very, very versatile. It's also absolutely fine with longer trousers because it falls below the knee, but it can also be worn with the skirts as well. The next thing I had to decide on were bags. And again, I wanted to keep those to a minimum. So I decided to put 1 large tote bag that can be used both for work, but also if she wants to go shopping. 1 crossbody or shoulder bag that is still good in size, so it's actually practical and can be worn on those days out when she goes for a walk or anything like that. And then for her dinners or nights out, I wanted to give her a smaller and more interesting bag. And so I found both of those in exactly the same brighter yellow color, which is found in the painting. And so one is a clutch, one is more of a top handle / shoulder bag. So whichever one you prefer, you might want to use that, but they're very, very similar. And finally, when it comes to shoes, as I said, I went to June because they had a lot more variety of shoes. So I wanted 2 different pairs of boots because boots can be worn under wider leg trousers very, very easily because they're not visible. And they can also be worn with the longer skirt. So they're actually quite a good item. And so we have a flat pair of navy suede boots that are very versatile, very easy to walk in. And then still a lower heel, but slightly fancier white leather boots that, again, can definitely dress up some of the outfits. Then I wanted to give Anna, again, 2 pairs of boots that are different. And so we had the silver metallic cowboy boots and then the more practical dark brown black boots. Again, this is a color that is in the painting and it can definitely combine very, very nicely with all of the navy in the bottoms. And finally, a pair of shoes I found on Essential Antwerp's website was this kitten heels. I think they're really, really interesting and they can definitely add a little bit of creativity and something interesting to an otherwise more simple outfit. And so I decided to include those as well. And finally, in terms of accessories, I just wanted to give Anna a couple of shinier items. So I gave her a pair of earrings, a necklace, and also this really long knitted blue scarf that can be worn over her coat, again, to add a little bit more of a visual interest to an otherwise quite plain navy coat. And so, again, this is the capsule that we ended up with. I think it is still quite small because it's not going to take up a lot of space to store all of these items. And I think it can be very, very versatile. So let me show you all the different occasions and all the outfits. And by the way, remember to subscribe and like this video. If you're enjoying it, it really helps me to grow the channel. So the first category here is the work capsule. And because Anna goes to work quite a lot, I think that this is understandably the largest piece. And so I created different outfit formulas that can work for this. So the first kind of outfit is with the corduroy straight trousers and a shirt. The shirt can actually be worn tucked in or over the pants, and that can create a bit more of a relaxed feeling. As I mentioned, the vest can be layered when you're outside to add extra warmth, or can be worn if you want something extra in your outfit. And of course, I added the coat and the bag. In terms of shoes, pretty much any pair of shoes works in here, so we have a lot of variety. The second outfit formula is actually with the faux leather trousers that are quite wide fitted. And so in here, I decided that she can go with the fit and flare, so using the more fitted jumpers, or she can use the wider fitting jumpers if she just wants to be very, very relaxed. The next one is actually with the jeans. So for work, you'll definitely have to dress those up. And so we're going to add the shirt and the blazer. So it is still very relaxed, very comfortable, but it has a little bit more polish because we're adding the heeled shoes, the coat, the blazer, just adds a little bit of extra while still being relaxed. And finally is the formula with skirts. And so in here, I thought it might actually be quite cool to pair that with the chunkier knits and adding the suede boots and maybe something as a necklace. Again, a little bit more creative, a little bit more interesting. So all of those outfit formulas create at least 20 different outfits. And so Anna can definitely have enough to last her for the next 3 months. The next category was working from home, and I think this one is actually quite easy. So in here, I've added the 2 sweatshirts. I've added the short sleeve one and also the looser fitting jumper as well. And in terms of pants, I think in here, I decided to go for like the baggiest, the most comfortable ones. And so there is a pair of knitted pants, the very loose fitting jeans, and then the elasticated waist faux leather trousers. And so all of those are actually very comfortable for sitting, lounging around, moving. It's just very, very easy. And if Anna needs to run an errand for half an hour, she can grab those more practical boots, add her full fur coat, and then the practical bag, and just go out, do her stuff, and come back and relax. So those outfits are still presentable, but they're definitely much more focused on comfort. The next type of event were city walks and shopping, and again, those can vary in level of formality. But I still wanted to prioritize comfort and give Anna different options. And so you can see that in terms of tops, we have some of the lighter knits, we have some of the chunkier knits, and we even have the sweatshirts. And for the bottoms, I've actually added the cream jeans as well, because they're definitely a little bit more relaxed. And so the first silhouette in here is actually having the fit and flare. So a tighter top with a looser bottom and then the cropped jacket. And so for footwear, she can go for the more heeled shoes or the more flat ones, depending on how much she wants to walk. The second formula is similar, but in here we've replaced a tighter fitting top with a looser fitting one. And again, she can go for the more casual ones in terms of the sweatshirts, or she can go for a knitted top to make it a little bit more fancy. And again, in terms of outerwear, she can wear the crop jacket or the coat. Both would actually work quite fine. The final capsule is for those dinners and any other fancier occasions that she might need to go to. As a PhD student, maybe she needs to go and network at some event, and so she needs a little bit more presentable outfits. And so in here, I'm going to show you a variety of different silhouettes that you can create. The first one is having the wider skirt with the blouse, the boots, and then the coat. Again, the clutch can add a little bit of a pop of color. The second silhouette is using the satin skirt with the blouse and then adding the blazer and the cropped jacket. Now the satin skirt, because it is longer, it is shinier, it's definitely a little bit more formal. I would say these are probably the fancier ones that you can create. The third formula is for maybe slightly more relaxed dinners, but still a little bit fancier. And so we're using the same satin skirt, but with a loose jumper and a pair of heels. And again, I think this is a very, very interesting, but still comfortable and creative outfit. And finally, if it needs to be a little bit more formal, she can create a suit. So option one is using the actual corduroy suit. Those two pieces are actually from the same fabric, so she can add any of the blouses really and create a lot more formal look. And the second option is to use the faux leather trousers with the blazer. This is going to create a slightly different silhouette. And even though they're made from different fabrics, because they're exactly the same color, it is still going to look like a suit. And in terms of footwear, she can again go with the boots or with the shoes and with the longer coat. And so in total, we have at least 16 different outfits. And of course, if you change the shoes, if you change the coat, you can create even more. And we only needed 13, so we've definitely fulfilled this occasion. The next type of outfits we needed were the work from home ones. And in here, we only needed 9. We have created 12. And again, you can add different boots and the coat if you also need to go out. Those outfits are very comfortable, very relaxed, and perfect for lounging and working from home. Next, we needed at least 9 different outfits for city walk, shopping, brunch, all of that. And in here, because items are actually very interchangeable, we have created at least 18 different outfits. You can, of course, change the shoes, change the coat, and again, probably double up your options. And finally, in terms of fancier occasions, dinners, and so on, we needed at least 7 different outfits. And I have given Anna here 17 different options, varying in the level of formality. And so again, there is a variety depending on where she's going and how she wants to dress. And if you're not a cooler season, but you're an autumn or a spring, definitely go and check out part 1 where I show you how to do exactly that. Let me know in the comments below what was your favorite outfit, and I'll see you in the next one.